Here's how things are looking after that. 1-1 after full time, went straight to penalties as you just saw, finished 8-7 on penalties to Arsenal, who now advance to play Chelsea in January in the semi-finals. That's their half of the bracket. On the other side, it's Newcastle against Manchester City. We've got Frank Leboeuf and Julien Laurent with us. Frank, let me start with you. What's your reaction to what we saw today? And now it's Arsenal up against Chelsea.
First, it was a very good game, and the first half was only Arsenal, I would say, but also Benitez that I seen playing against Nice at the time was already a very good goalkeeper, but he showed all his talent today against the Gunners. And the first half, Arsenal could have been 4-0. And second half, the coach, Crystal Palace coach, made some changes on the right side because Martinelli was a real danger. On top of it, Martinelli got injured. So he changed a little bit the way the Gunners were playing, and we saw Palace a little bit existing. And after all, 1-1 is kind of lucky for Crystal Palace, but it's good to see Arsenal winning because I think they deserve that win. Let's say that the only not good penalty today shootout was from Lacroix. Otherwise, it's been 15 fantastic penalty shootout. And you can be a defender, you can be French, but sometimes you cannot be a very good penalty shooter.
It's incredible it actually went to penalties, isn't it, Jules? Especially after the chances that Arsenal had in the first half.
Yeah, they would have kicked themselves first to not have scored more goals, and before the own goal by Lacroix to start with, they created enough chances to do that. They should have taken it. I thought that front three, which is the B team front three, really, of Madueke, Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli, did well in terms of the intensity, everything, bringing their own thing. I thought Eze was decent too, just behind them in that kind of number 10 role. But you have to take those chances. Gabriel Jesus has been out for a long time, and maybe he's just a little bit rusty in that kind of finishing in front of goal. But they were very good, I think, for most of that first hour or so. And then they score that goal, and you think, okay, this is it. They're going to see the game out. And Saliba gives away a free kick that he should have never given away, and then Lerma wins the ball, and then Guehi with the follow-up, and you think, okay, now it's typical in those kind of games when you are so much better, so much more dominant, you get pegged back and you're going to lose on penalties even in your own stadium. But Kepa made that save, and I agree with Frankie, the penalties were outstanding until the Lacroix one.
And even though it was close, Shaka, once again, it's Arsenal who are finding their way through, and they're the ones who march on.
Yeah, and listen, give Crystal Palace a due. I thought they put up as good a fight as they could, sitting on the occasion. No question in my mind that Walter Benitez was the man of the match. And then to Arsenal, yes, they're through and need to be applauded for that. Made changes to a front three. Joe's described them as a B-team front three. That's still a hell of a front three. And it kind of speaks to the depth that Arsenal can now call on, especially with Gabriel Jesus back to fitness. Kai Havertz soon to follow. Mikel Merino has filled into very good effect in those striking positions. And it speaks to, I guess, how equipped Arsenal are in going that one step further and lifting the Premier League trophy. So credit to them for that, because B-team or not, penalty shootout or not, Arsenal were fully deserving of the win.
They've got to believe they can win this competition now, Stevie.
I absolutely think so. The fact that he is able to make the changes that he did, and then he can bring on the cavalry basically when they need something to actually take that final step and win the game. So yeah, there's no question that Arteta, he certainly wants a trophy this season. He would obviously prefer the Premier League, but if it has to be the Carabao Cup, then he's obviously going for it.
How do you feel about Chelsea facing Arsenal, this version of Arsenal, Frank?
That's going to be a big task for the Blues, but we saw a few weeks ago that Chelsea was capable 10 against 11 to cope with the Gunners. So maybe they have to use that to get some confidence. But we know that the Gunners right now are the best team in the Premier League, and even if it's a Carabao Cup semi-final, you will have to accept the fact that Arsenal is better than anybody else, and surely better than Chelsea. But in one game, in that kind of game, it's possible for the Blues to surprise the Gunners, especially if the Gunners have their head somewhere, close to the Champions League and the Premier League.
What is Arsenal's best 11, Jules?
I mean, not the one that we saw today. Today was the B team, apart from Saliba and Timber, and I guess Calafiori, because White and Mosquera are out injured or were out injured, and then Nkapie, between Nkapie and Calafiori, Nkapie was the one rested, and probably rightly so, to be fair. But apart from that, from Kepa to Lewis Kelly to obviously Norgard, Eze, Merino, and that front three that we mentioned already, this is your B team. So if you want to switch to your A team, which is the one that should play against Brighton on Saturday 27th, now the next game that Arsenal have, you'll have Raya in goal, you'll have Nkapie coming back instead of Miles Lewis Kelly, for example, and Calafiori will go back to left back. You will have Rice, Zubimendi and Odegaard starting in that midfield three, and then you'll have Saka, Gyökeres and Trossard as your front three. Well, at least you think with the starting lineup of tonight and the B team, that should be the A team coming back at the weekend.
A word on Walter Benitez today. Shaka, he had a good game.
He really did. And so often, goalkeeper into his 30s, he's going to be Crystal Palace's number 2. I feel some certainty about because of Henderson's form for Crystal Palace. All you can do is, when you're given your chance, make a name for yourself, stand out. And I thought he did that. And again, maybe it may not be enough for him to be promoted to number 1 over Henderson, but it may be enough for somebody to sit up and take some notice if there's a goalkeeping crisis or there's a need somewhere else. And I thought Walter Benitez did that wonderfully well. I thought Jules was a little bit harsh on Arsenal strikers. It was less poor finishing, and I thought just a brilliant display of goalkeeping.
They need all trophies they can get. I mean, when you're a big club, you want to win everything, and the Carabao Cup is a great competition. It's the third domestic competition, and it brings something special to the dressing room as well, as we have seen today. You know, as you called, the B team players were involved, so it gives a good mood to the dressing room. And if you can get that trophy, I remember in '98 winning the League Cup, and then after we won the European Cup, the dressing room was on fire, and we were so happy to be the winners of the that wasn't called the Carabao Cup, but the League Cup at the time, and it's always good. You need all trophies if you're a team like Arsenal, but don't forget they're going to play Chelsea.
Obviously, the League Cup is the one that you can get wrapped up early if you do go on all the way to win it. What would that do for them in their title push?
Everything, it just brings more confidence, more togetherness. I mean, there is absolutely not a negative. The manager would see the only negative as more games, but the players don't look at it that way. They want to win. They want to win trophies. They want medals. And if it's the Carabao Cup, then yes, please, I'll take that medal any day of the week. And then confidence through the roof.
I think the other thing too, when you get this far in the competition, it just starts to feel differently, you know. Listen, you understand, and again to use Jules' phrasing, putting out the B team, Maresca did similarly against Cardiff. But now all of a sudden, you're in a semi-final, and the truth is, you get to a semi-final, and if you get knocked out early enough, you think, fine, way too many games, I can do with the rest. You get to a semi-final, and you're only, if you win that semi, it's only one more game. So it almost doesn't make sense or that much of a difference to the players in getting knocked out at this stage. So you want to go on and complete it. It's one more game on your calendar. It's not that tasking in terms of the bigger picture. So all of a sudden now, it feels different to the players. And now I want to see how all four of the managers kind of approach this, because similarly, do you make changes as you did previously, or do you go stronger going forward?
You get the final say on this game, Jules.
I think the good thing for Arsenal now is that the semi-final second leg is at the Emirates, so they will have to go to Stamford Bridge first, which is okay. Frank mentioned it. We saw them not that long ago in the league for what was quite a feisty, intense opposition, and then the red card and all of that, and ended up with a draw. I think to have your second leg of that semi-final 2 weeks later at the Emirates, as we saw tonight, even if you go to penalties, if it's a big boost to have when you come down to those two semi-finals, two legs. So I think they will have to feel confident that they can beat Chelsea over the 2 legs, especially with that second leg at home, and then go to the final. And as we said, it's the first trophy to win in England. And if you start by winning this, the confidence and the momentum that it can take you on for maybe FA Cup if they're still in it, Champions League, and the Premier League could be quite important.
There'll be a lot more talk about Arsenal on our Football Reporters pod. Make sure to go and check that out. They've done a deep dive on Victor Gyökeres and everything that's been going on with him at Arsenal this season. Check it out. ESPN FC Football Reporters podcast.
Very, very happy Arsenal fans heading into Christmas. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, I was really happy. Obviously, we are where we wanted to be. It's the second semi-final in 2 years. We played against a team that is very difficult to generate chances. We generate a lot of them. And I think the margin should have been bigger. And when they not after 94, 95 minutes at this level, any set piece can cost you, and it cost us.
When you talk about the finishing, is it the need to be more relaxed? Is it the need to be more ruthless? What is it?
Well, every action is different. Every player is different. They were very, very composed and relaxed in the penalties. Probably we needed that efficiency to put 2 or 3 goals at least today in the manner that we attack and generated chances. But overall, very happy.
Yeah, when you come through as well, when it goes the distance like that, is there a degree of sort of satisfaction you take from that very fact you've had to push yourselves to the limit?
Absolutely, and we make 8 changes today. And when that happens, the team can lose certain chemistry, rhythm, understanding, and it didn't. And I'm very pleased with that because it gives you a lot of comfort and confidence to trust the boys, and we have some big individual performance as well.
And what about Kepa? 3 years ago in this competition, he was the only one to miss when it went to a penalty shootout in the final. So that must mean a lot to him tonight.
Yes, I'm sure. And if somebody had to help us, I'm very glad that it was him. He's an incredible professional. He's so committed to the team. The way he fulfills his role is excellent. So I'm very happy.
Funny how it comes around, isn't it? A little bit of fate. Maybe.
This is football. Yeah. It's a good. The good things can happen at any moment. Just go for the next one.
And Gabriel Jesus, seeing him back starting, we talked about him before the game. What did you make of his performance?
It's been almost a year. I think it was his 100th appearance today as well for the club. So delighted for him. I think he was very good in the game. We have another player that is going to help us massively. So very happy to have him.
And is that now, when you look at it, you've got so many options in that attacking part of the field now. Are you still looking for the right blend almost?
Yes, but we haven't had the opportunity really because unfortunately in the first few months we had a lot of injuries in that part. But now everything seems to be happening, and we're going to use them. Different qualities, combinations, and everybody has to be ready for it.
5 games before the semi-final, but it's Chelsea.
Yes, and you see the 4 teams that we are in the competition, how tough it's going to be for all of them. Is where we want to be, is the kind of game that we want to play.
And a final word, Martinelli off tonight. I know Hincapié had a knock. What's the latest you can tell us with those 2?
Gavi had to come off. He wasn't feeling comfortable to carry on. And Piero, he picked an injury the day during the Everton game. So let's see.
Thank you, Mikel.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Leandro Trossard proved to be the perfect antidote to Arsenal's attacking frustrations, following Mikel Arteta's candid remarks about Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres may have struggled to truly impress since his summer arrival at Arsenal, but over the weekend, there was finally a glimpse of what he is capable of. More importantly, Trossard showed exactly why he could be the key to unlocking the Swedish striker's full potential during Arsenal's hard-fought 2-1 victory over Wolves at the Emirates Stadium. The 31-year-old winger injected fresh energy into Mikel Arteta's side on Saturday night and helped breathe new life into the Gunners' attack. Shortly after replacing Gabriel Martinelli in the second half, Arsenal found the breakthrough. While Trossard did not directly contribute to either the opening goal or the dramatic stoppage time winner, his influence on the game was undeniable. Trossard took control of proceedings, dictating the tempo and pulling the strings down the left flank. Time and again, he dismantled Wolves' compact defensive setup, releasing Miles Lewis-Skelly into space, picking out Declan Rice on the edge of the box, and crucially, feeding Gyökeres with intelligent, well-timed passes. Operating as a creative hub, the Belgian showcased his playmaking qualities, delivering sharp, purposeful distribution. His introduction completely shifted the momentum of the match, and for the first time in weeks, Arsenal's $64 million striker briefly looked like a genuine threat. Before Trossard's arrival, Gyökeres endured a frustrating and ineffective outing in attack. fact, the Belgian was the only player to carve out a clear-cut opportunity for the 27-year-old forward, slipping a simple yet incisive ball in behind the Wolves' backline. Gyökeres controlled the pass, beat his defender, and aimed for the far post. Wolves goalkeeper Sam Johnstone was beaten, but the Swedish striker saw his effort agonizingly drift just wide. If Arteta truly wants to get the best out of Gyökeres, then granting Trossard a more prominent role in the starting 11th could be the solution. Speaking to TNT Sports after the win, the Arsenal manager openly addressed the challenges facing his marquee signing. "It's a collaboration between the two," Arteta explained. "He was in some really good positions, but the ball didn't arrive quickly enough, accurately enough, or with the precision a number 9 needs to score." But his commitment and intention were there, and we have to keep pushing. Arteta was equally vocal in defending Gyökeres prior to the match, urging patience with the striker's adaptation to English football. "There was huge expectation because we were signing a proven goal scorer, probably with the best statistics in Europe," Arteta said. "But he's coming into a different league, the most demanding league in the world. What happens if he doesn't score in 5 or 6 games? That was the only question I asked him. How are you going to react if you don't score in 5 or 6 matches? Can you handle that? And what about the next 100 games? That's what people need to see. The sample size is still very small, so leave him alone. Let him do what he does best. Support him, and I'm convinced things will come good." That message from Arteta resonated beyond the Emirates. In the days following the Wolves' victory, the debate around Gyökeres intensified among pundits, supporters, and former players. While some questioned whether Arsenal's record signing is truly suited to the Premier League's pace and physicality, others pointed to the structural issues around him rather than the striker himself. Much of the post-match analysis focused on Arsenal's chance creation and balance in the final third. The Wolves game highlighted a recurring theme this season. Gyökeres often makes the right movements, but the service into dangerous areas has been inconsistent. When Trossard entered the match, that problem briefly disappeared. Arsenal suddenly looked more fluid, more unpredictable, and far better equipped to supply a traditional number 9. Former players speaking on television and radio were quick to note the contrast. With Trossard drifting inside and linking play, Arsenal's attacking shape became more compact, allowing Gyökeres to stay higher up the pitch and occupy central defenders. That, in turn, created space for midfield runners like Rice and Ødegaard to arrive late in the box. It was a glimpse of an attacking formula that Arsenal have rarely sustained this season. The reaction from supporters has been equally divided. While frustration with Gyökeres' goal return remains, there is growing appreciation for his work rate, physical presence, and willingness to press from the front. Many fans now see Trossard as the missing connector, the player who can translate Gyökeres' movement into genuine scoring opportunities. Internally, Arteta faces an important decision. Persisting with a front line that isolates Gyökeres risks damaging the striker's confidence, especially with tougher fixtures on the horizon. At the same time, promoting Trossard to a regular starting role could mean reshuffling wide positions and reducing Martinelli's minutes, a bold call that would not come without consequences. Yet football at the highest level often comes down to chemistry rather than reputation. The Wolves match suggested that Arsenal's most expensive signing may not need drastic changes to his own game, but rather the right supporting cast around him. If Arteta embraces that idea, Gyökeres' slow start could soon be remembered as nothing more than a difficult adjustment period. For now, the pressure remains. Goals will ultimately define Gyökeres' Arsenal career, and patience in North London is never unlimited. But with Trossard offering clarity, creativity, and calm in possession, Arsenal may finally have found the key to unlocking their striker and turning promise into consistent production.